Reality NSFW coming at you guys. I actually did it right, you guys. We had a former name, and I got these coasters that I love these coasters, but they're limited edition. They are a collector's item. But Reality NSFW, you guys, we have a lot of cool shit going on. Johnny Fairplay, you are going to Hearts of Reality tomorrow to hang out. I don't know. Are any Amazing Race alumni going to the event?
I'm not sure about Amazing Racers. I know that there's a lot of Big Brother people. The newly announced couple of Memphis and Christmas will be there. I know there's a lot of survivors. There's a lot of WWE people, including Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Mankind, Dude Love. That's all one person. Scotty Too Hottie, and a bunch of people from the NXT brand. Casey Cantanera. She was the first woman to climb the wall on American Ninja Warrior.
Casey, what's her last name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's bad. That's a badass. It's like the quarter pipe wall deal. That's sweet. First chick ever to do it. That's awesome.
And she was like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, wow. She's so cute. Like I met her, and I'm just like, if they strap the rocket to her, if she learns her craft, they strap the likability of her is off the charts. But she had a small hiccup about a year ago. Her heart wasn't in it, and she took some time off, and then reassessed life, I'm guessing. And then has come back and now is on, you see her on Wednesday nights, and she's in a tag team and doing good. I mean, she's starting her evolution into the world of professional wrestling. So
cool.
But yeah, but as I said, likability, I like, that's an intangible that, for like, some people want to be a good guy. Some people want to be a bad guy, but for the people that want to be a good guy, you have to be likable, and you can like yourself as much as you want, but if other people don't find the same attraction, it's an epic fail.
Well, speaking of likability, I mean, tonight we're in Cambodia, which is amazing. I really dug this episode and everything involved in it. Out of the 5 teams left, who do you think is the most likable that America as a whole, like not necessarily Karen, Matt, and Johnny, but America?
I would think it's a tie between Hung and Chi and the Beard Bros. So the Beard Bros, I didn't join you guys last week because I was DJing. I was with Zane Knight, one of the most popular first boots of all time in the history of Survivor. We were in Durham, North Carolina for a Thanksgiving Eve event. Very socially distanced, masks across the board, very professionally and well done. And so I didn't get to podcast with you guys, but I went back and watched the episodes and then watched our coverage at realitynsfw.com. And there's something I made notes, even though I wasn't podcasting about it. The respect and courtesy that the Beards have shown throughout every leg of the race is off the charts. And I think there's a reason that they, on average, have done better than any of the other teams, because, knowing the language, of course, helps, but that respect and courteousness that they show, I feel that, we're all dumb Americans and dumb Americans playing this game in these people's country. They're just like, sometimes potentially they're like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of our country. But if you show respect, if you honor the traditions, I think that goes a long way. It's just like, oh wow, these asshole Americans are here and they're actually, taking our beliefs seriously. And I think that's inched them further and further to the top for the legs that they've been successful at. And once again, first place.
Well, you need to talk to the expert, which is me. Everything that Johnny Fairplay just said about the Beard guys is completely false, completely dumb, and a horrible hypothesis. The reason those motherfuckers are badass is because I got Johnny Fairplay's, well, I'm going to move my camera. I got Johnny Fairplay's beard right there. It is because they have beards. There's no other reason. That is the only reason that matters.
It's got nothing to do with the fact that they're also pro athletes. That is nothing.
Nothing. Doesn't have to do with them speaking the language, being courteous. They have beards, and the guys are going to win. But no, in all seriousness, I get what you're saying, Johnny. And out of all these racers that are in the game, I mean, I like each and every one of them. I mean, Will and James, I love their relationship and how excited that they are to be in Cambodia. And it's like a dream come true for them. And they're just like, wow, like, this is awesome, and I got to share it with someone that I love. And then, Hung and Chi, it's like they have a family back home that they know is going to be watching, the race. They're going to have a big viewing parties, I'm sure, when this is going down. Big fans of the race, so this is special to them.
Well, there's COVID. There's no there might be a Zoom party.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck, I keep forgetting. But
hey, real quick peek behind the curtain. So you guys had mentioned last week you were wondering how close it was with the Blonde Bandits, and so I reached out to one of the racers, and I don't want to blow anybody's spot up. So I messaged, hey, if the Blonde Bandits had not been double yielded, would they have still been in it, or was it edited to look much closer than it was? And this person's reply was they were 2+ hours behind, definitely edited. They were already an hour behind when they arrived at the Turban Challenge because Eswar and Aparna had already left. The yields made no difference. We had been at the palace eating after we checked into the pit stop, and even 30 minutes after we checked in, and they were just driving up into the carriage. All teams were done by the time they arrived. So I was like, I figured. And once again, they were lost again in the cab in the first leg. And the person replied, for hours, none of us had any clue where they were the whole leg. Only after did we realize that they were hours behind. And then one of the teams wanted to yield Gary and D'Angelo, but they were right behind them, and 20 minutes would have just pissed them off more than anything else. But one of the teams was ready to yield them last week, and we didn't see that because they were so close behind.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming down to a point. They're in Cambodia, and there is no more alliance of 5 at this point. There's a strong 3 with Hung and Chi, Will and James and the Beard Bros. And then you have Gary and D'Angelo and Eswar and Aparna. I think the alliance deal, we've kind of talked about this on the podcast. A lot of people are like, it's predictable and whatever else. But are you guys pretty keen on the alliance of 3 at this point? Do you think that they have a good chance of going all the way together and then see what happens, or are you guys not down with the alliance?
I think tonight was the night with the Mind 5 split as of the beginning of tonight's episode. Tonight was the night to make the play against D'Angelo and Gary, and it just timing wise, it just didn't work out. I think if Hung and Chi, if their boat driver had taken them to the fish challenge, I think we might have seen something a little different, perhaps. So because I think that net challenge, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
necessarily slow, but steady.
Dude, that's one thing I want to say. I think Gary and D'Angelo, when they were doing that net challenge, I just wanted to think about this right now. They're just like, can you imagine that these people do this every fucking day? Like every day of their life. And it started making me think, like, seeing these people living in this water city and seeing those Buddhist dudes on the floating temple. And
that's what they're technically called, Buddhist dudes. Go ahead.
They're Buddhists and they're Jews.
Yeah,
Don't be a hater.
But it's crazy that Americans, like with the whole quarantine shit, like you can just be in your house and play Xbox, PlayStation, and watch Netflix and listen to reality NSFW and drink beer and smoke weed and do whatever you want. But like people are complaining about that. Like some of these other countries, motherfuckers would do anything to live like Americans. It's just crazy how spoiled brats we are. When you watch a show like Amazing Race and you see what, however many, the majority of the rest of the world lives in this crazy ass way of life compared to us. It just really makes me appreciate what we do have.
I will say this about the people that do that professionally, like, pull the net in, day after day, hour after hour, whatever. I'm going to call them stupid. But hear me out. They've missed their true calling in life, because I would imagine that anyone that does this, day after day, month after month, year after year, their forearms are more amazing than any forearm you've ever seen in your life. They should be on the arm wrestling circuit going worldwide, or at least at bars hustling people for money.
Oh yeah, true.
There's vast money out there that they're not capitalizing on.
And I wonder how much money they make doing this.
Not as much as they would make hustling people in bars and arm wrestling contests.
That's true. That's true. So what do you guys think of the whole the Travelocity gnome?
Oh, the gnome.
Are you a fan of the gnome, Karen?
I'm a fan just because this has been part of Amazing Race, if not since the first season, since way back. And Survivor and Big Brother seems to have lost a lot of their product placement, but Tar always has the gnome. It was kind of pointless, I feel, this year. Like, they have done things before to try to integrate the gnome more. Now it's just like he got to watch them give stuff to a monk. And
he wore a life vest en route.
That was cute. But yeah, like I said, I'm easy. I love all this cheesy stuff. Does it really add that much to the show? Probably not. Yeah. But I'm not mad at it.
So going to that, they have to go to this like floating city, and there's a floating Buddhist temple. It seems like everyone completed the challenge like pretty quickly. Do you think that guy was just like, I'm going to give this to anybody? Did you guys really pay attention to like every single thing that they were doing? You know what I'm saying?
I was watching the monks. It was one of the more obvious. The monks looking at the producer for the nod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the worst all season.
It didn't look that complicated, if you just bothered to actually read it, and like what the Beard Bros were doing and kind of like rehearsing a little bit. Not a bad idea.
That's one thing I want to say about this. I made a note how that was awesome. They were very smart preparing. The thing I don't like about the Amazing Race that I feel is different than, let's say, Survivor, and I've even talked to Mark Abatista, who played the Amazing Race. Him and his partner got out on some bullshit thing. The boat dies when they're in first place. The boat has a problem. I feel that's not, real cool. Like, that's something that's completely out of their control. Like,
doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel that like that's kind of like not super fair.
I think it's supposed to be like, again, like when you travel, stuff like this happens, and it is out of your control. And so, look, we don't, with all these shows, we know that there's a lot of luck involved. Yeah. Even on Survivor, Big Brother. So it's much more apparent here sometimes when people just get screwed by no fault of their own.
But if that boat died and never started up, and everyone's just like, we're not going to go get him another boat, and they just like get eliminated, like. That's
they would have sent another boat, and the deck would have been stacked against them.
Right.
Yeah, that would freaking suck. Something like completely out of your control like that. I realize like in Survivor, for example, if I'm in a challenge with Johnny Fairplay and I'm the puzzle guy and Johnny's got to do this swimming thing and I'm sitting there and Johnny can't do it.
Whoa.
But yeah, you are relying on certain other factors, I guess.
Yeah.
In all these shows.
Like rewind to the beginning of the season. I told the story. Thunder D, the guy that did the Dead Grandma Lie with me, like they had a leg in Portland, Oregon, and he saw the yellow box, and he saw during his he waited for 2 hours for someone to come to this yellow box, and he was going to drive them to just the middle of fucking nowhere and fucking leave them. Now, if that had happened, like it's no different than a boat breaking down. Like that, those people chose to go with Thunder D in his car.
Right.
Hoping that it's just like, oh, how great is this? We don't have to wait for a taxi. This guy was on reality TV. He's one of us. He's one of our brethren, and he completely fucks them. And it's just like, yes, and they deserve to lose.
Right.
Why would you trust him?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we see it even with the cabs, getting lost and not knowing where they're going. I mean so I think that if you're going to do the show, they almost have to have this rule, because if you were trying to ever figure out, what's fair and how do you compensate people for stuff like that, you can't. So it's just baked into the rules.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm cool with real quick rewinding a tad. Everyone on the same flight. I hate that. I mean, like, you had the people that did so well the leg before, and they're once again, here's the reset. Here we go again. And so and then we actually have tuk-tuk. I think they're actually called tuk-tuks in Cambodia. So it's nice that 5/6 of the cast didn't sound stupid trying to hail tuk-tuks in the wrong country. So that was nice. And I gotta give credit to Will and James. Possibly, if it's not my favorite line, it's tied with "Let's go Alliance," and it's like, shh, it's a secret. So, and the Alliance of Three, apparently the name is Alliance. Is what they are referring to themselves.
Oh, dude, they need that's great. They need someone like Nick Wilson, or who else is Alliance naming geniuses on other shows.
That's usually a Big Brother thing. So anybody who played Big Brother would be able to come up with a name that's better than Alliance.
Yeah.
I actually talked with Nick Wilson earlier today, and I will be seeing him tomorrow. Him and his lovely bride. They'll be in Arts Reality.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Hung and Chi are the first to complete this temple challenge, but everyone kind of does this one pretty easily.
Yeah.
And after this, we go to, is it a double detour? Is that what it's called?
Well, you have the option there from there to go to do the
fishnet thing.
You can do the fishnet or the garden. And Hung and Chi actually asked their boat driver to take them to the fishnet, and he took them to the wrong place.
Which one would you guys want to do
Fishnet.
out of the two? Fishnet, yeah.
Fishnet all day.
Yeah.
And I'm a garden guy. Like, I have a garden. I like a garden, but it just like fishnet for me, it just seemed like the easier. And I think case in point from their finish times, that was the easier of the two.
Yeah. Just in general, whenever there is one task that is more physical and another, and this is a very common way that they design a leg. There's one option that is very physical, but not particularly complicated. And as long as you're, in decent shape, you won't have a problem. And then there's something that, again, is not going to be physical, but often does require a lot of attention to detail and all that. And so, again, for most people, if you can do it physically, you're better off taking the more physical task. For me, I don't know what I would do, because on the one hand, I don't know that I'm really strong enough to haul in, a mile of net. But on the other hand, I'm also not great with gardening. I know nothing about it. I kill plants by looking at them. So I don't know. But you're right, Johnny. Generally, given the choice, you want to take the less complicated, more physical task.
Yeah, the intricacies of the garden scene, but once again, Hung and Chi, although inadvertently taken to the garden, she's explaining her parents had most of those items in their backyard, and it's just like,
it
how
just
cool
continues the fact that they just they have almost no gaps in their skill set, right?
None. Yeah, they were made for the Amazing Race. How cool is that? There's very few duos of people on the planet, much less, the United States, but on the planet that are tailor-made for the Amazing Race.
I agree. I mean, they're, and the thing is, they don't seem to get in any of these challenges. Is that what they're called? Challenges?
Legs.
Sure.
Yeah, this was a detour, right?
But they don't ever seem to get stressed out, really. And another thing I noticed is Gary and D'Angelo throughout, early on in the season, it seems like they were butting heads and kind of getting a little feisty with each other, like get pissed. And everyone's kind of seems that's in the race still is kind of calm, cool, and collected, man. Like they're not stressing out, which is crazy to me because I think if I'm in last place or stressing out on a challenge, I think I'd be freaking out at this point in the race.
It's not going to help you.
I was going to say that might not be an accident because when, like you were saying, Johnny, right, when you're stressing out, you're more likely to be eliminated. So it's kind of not actually that surprising that when you get to the latter part of the race, the people who are going to be left, and there have been exceptions in tar history where people have even won the show while still screaming at their partner, right? So it's not, but and two things in there, they're connected, but they're not the same. One is just in general being able to keep yourself calm. And then the other thing is your relationship with your partner. And whatever's with Hung and Chi, we were kind of laughing at this. The thing was, Chi was told what he could be upset for 90 seconds and then he had to get over it. But it seems to work for them.
Right.
Yeah, big time.
Wow. That's
so
cool.
I thought the floating gardens were cool. I mean, as I said, I wouldn't want to do it, but let's look at the other challenge. You're separating 30 pounds of fish from a half mile of net.
And they're not fit, like they're like minnows.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 pounds of that. It seems like it would take, that's a lot of small little
I think
fish.
was the thing also if they didn't pull in at least 30 pounds, 15 kilos, I think it was. It was 30 pounds. So the theory was that if they did not bring in enough, they would have to do it again.
Yeah.
And that didn't come up for anybody, but that would have been fun, right? As you do all that and you hear, you got 14 and a half kilos here. We'll do it again.
I would have been okay with that. I did love, so Will elects to be the chooser for this leg and Will chooses the garden because he had a garden in middle school. And then I'm guessing he became ridiculously attractive, and then the garden died because I think his dating options. I'm guessing Will possibly started a little awkward, and then became like an America's Next Top Model. And so I'm guessing middle school started just like I have no friends, no one likes me, I'm not that pretty, and then so let me start a garden, and it's just like 2 months later looks in the mirror is like, fuck this garden.
No, it is inspiring. I wanted to make a garden, like a raised deal in my backyard, but then when the whole COVID thing happened, I didn't feel like going to the store to get lumber, and then lumber became like a big time short supply, like you couldn't find it. And then when I built this podcast studio that I'm in right now, man, 2x4s were like, instead of like $2.50 for a 2x4, they were like $5.85. Like, so the price of materials went up like crazy. Yeah, but I think next year,
plexiglass was $68 a sheet or whatever.
Yeah,
and is now $288 a sheet.
Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. And but yeah, the whole garden thing. It's like, as a kid, I remember my parents growing tomatoes and like peppers and strawberries, but then the rabbits would eat a lot of the strawberries. But I think this year, 2021, I'm going to make a garden. Maybe we have a garden off, Johnny Fair Play.
Yeah. So I have a garden in here. So I have a garden, and then I have a fence, a metal fence thing around it, like just the wiring, and posts. And what I've learned, and that doesn't stop the deer and the rabbits or anything. What does, there's two things that they don't like: human hair and human pee.
Really?
So
also cat pee, I think, because especially with the rabbits, if they smell a cat, they will go elsewhere.
Well, I don't have means to collect cat pee.
I do. If you want to do an experiment, Johnny.
Yeah, no, I whenever I get a haircut, I leave with a bag of my hair and I put it around my garden. And then whenever I'm walking around my backyard, I just pee around my garden.
Wow. So you just sprinkle the hair?
And the pee.
Wow. Could you just save your Manscaped clippings
Could.
And then
There's a lot of manscaping going on. We'll be discussing. You know what? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Oh yeah.
Actually, is that the first ad? Yeah,
Brace yourselves, Survivor NSFW fans. Winter is coming. Man, do I miss Game of Thrones. But what the writers of Game of Thrones didn't tell you is that Bran was actually in a wheelchair because he didn't trim his balls with Manscaped. Poor guy thought it was okay to trim his balls with a traditional razor or hair trimmer. Oof.
Whoa. You talk about something that I know about, Zach. I can't believe I'm sharing this. But back in the day, I didn't know what it took to get the girls. But I did know that they didn't want to see a bunch of hair around my balls and around my butthole. So what did I do? I took it upon myself to try to shave these delicate areas with a non-approved razor. I tried the Bic. I tried the... Holy moly. Have you ever seen Ric Flair back in the early 80s wearing the crimson mask, Zach?
I have.
That's what my balls look like. Do not do that, folks. I'm telling you, this is not the plan. There is one plan and one plan only. Go to the people that know what they're doing. Scientists have worked on this. This is the best thing you can do. Go to Manscaped. You do not have to have your balls look like Ric Flair in 1986 versus Dusty Rhodes.
The new Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer is waterproof with advanced skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts, and even has a light to help you close shave down there. Not only that, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer can help you whack those nasty weeds in your delicate holes. This product also has proprietary skin-safe technology to help prevent nicks, snags, and tugs.
The performance package also includes the crop preserver. Wow, that's easy to say. It's a deodorant for your balls to protect against chafing. Also, the crop reviver ball toner will keep your boys fresh at all times.
Maybe you're on the other side of the wall and you don't know where your next shower is. No worries, the Crop Mop ball wipes are here for you. Do you have smelly feet? Manscaped can help with the Foot Duster foot deodorant made to fight odors of even the dirtiest feet. Or you maybe just want to smell good everywhere? That's good because the Refined Cologne by Manscaped is a clean and fresh scent designed for the refined gentleman.
That crop mop is for one of those you didn't know you're going to get some, and then the opportunity presents itself out of nowhere. Boom, crop mop. Clean those bad boys off. Be ready to perform. But hey, on top of everything, they've even thrown in the Shed travel bag to carry your goods and Manscaped anti-chafing boxers to hold the entire package together. Are you kidding me, Zach?
That's good stuff. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. During the winter, you may be spending more time inside with your balls. Might as well make them beautiful.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR. They love it when we do that. And be sure to join the Manscaped movements. These products are no joke.
Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every fan knows, Survivor challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. Fair play. Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. Find out if you have what it takes by visiting the Perplexers Puzzle store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code FAIRPLAY, FAIRPLAY, at checkout for a 10% discount. And let me tell you, I'm hanging out on my patio on these beautiful summer nights. I have Zach Hacker coming over to my house, and we did the fire puzzle, the season 40 puzzle. I got the tree puzzle, and Zach was like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. So if you are a fan of Survivor, as Zach is, and I know he has a true, authentic Survivor puzzle that I have personally done, these Perplexers puzzles are the real deal. So go to survivorpuzzle.com right now, enter promo code FAIRPLAY at checkout for a 10% discount, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, so I played the wrong commercial first. That's okay.
That's all right. Our boy Zach Hacker, who usually produces this thing, he's out tonight. I think he's got like ingrown ball hair from manscaping accident, so he'll be back next week. But man, this
it's not using his Manscaped. So if he had used Manscaped, he would not have that happening. So,
that's right.
So there you go. Everybody use promo code Survivor. So real quick, I'm heading to Hearts Reality, and then I have the other charity stuff that I'm doing. I have one last Tony Vlachos signed buff on eBay. And so let's raise some money for charity. I have a link on my Twitter. It's at Johnny Fairplay. It's a good Christmas present for somebody. Get yourself a Tony Vlachos signed Season 4 Winners at War signed buff. So see the link for that. Oof.
I don't know anything about a Tony Vlachos buff, but if you guys want to bid on the Tony Vlachos buff, go right ahead. That's one of my favorite shirts. You can go to johnnyfairplay.com. There are shirts available. And you guys get a phone call from the man himself, Johnny Fairplay. But yeah, it's those old shirts are going to be collector's items. So if I'm never going to get rid of mine. My Tony Nachos is probably my favorite one. I usually don't wear bright colors. I mean, I got a blue baseball style shirt on right now, but yeah. Anyways, you guys, we are getting down to the wire. This race is getting intense, and we have the
Beard Bros are first at
the
double U-turn, and it's our final U-turn of the race. So if you're gonna make the play, I know the goal was to go after D'Angelo and Gary, but they are right behind them. So the Beard Bros are first to do the fish challenge, but the NFL guys actually show up first at the double U-turn, and they U-turn Eswar and Aparna, and then and
they were pissed too.
Oh yeah, and then the Beard Bros used theirs on the NFL guys since they were already ahead of them. So both U-turns had been used at this point, so no one else could U-turn anyone else. So
yeah, because when they first started, there was just the one U-turn. Then they started with the double U-turn. I think the idea being that there would be like this race to the finish with these two teams that had both gotten U-turned. But this is not the first time we've seen this, that teams have figured out that you can just burn a U-turn by using it on somebody who's already ahead of you.
Yeah.
I'm not, I wonder whether they should. I was going to say maybe that should be against the rules, but like they don't necessarily know who's in front of them, I guess.
Yeah. Right. But I don't blame it. Yeah.
It's
right.
Strategy.
It's just part of the game.
It's not only is it strategy, it's smart strategy.
Yeah. Aparna disagreed with you on that, but.
Yeah. Well, much like D'Angelo, I don't care, and in your face.
And especially given, as well, the alliance, supposedly is now over. Now it's not really over. It's been trimmed down from 5 teams to 3, but both of the teams involved, right, are not part of that. So as far as they're concerned, right, it's every team for themselves. So if that's true, what is Aparna so upset about?
Yeah. So, and do you think that fast forwarding to the end of the episode, do you think that in your face kind of rubbed a lot of the viewers at home that were potentially on the bubble with D'Angelo and Gary? I rubbed them the wrong way.
You mean when they were like after Eswar and Aparna are eliminated, and they kind of I feel. They act like, I don't give a shit. I mean, you would think you would be friends somewhat with these people, maybe outside the race.
I don't think it played well. I don't think he meant it in a really malicious way, but I think the editing was purposely done, and I don't think it played well for as I said, for those that are on the bubble, if you're watching this and you're all in on D'Angelo and Gary, you're just like, fuck yeah.
Right.
So, but like if you somewhat like them, you're just like, oh, that wasn't the best. But if you weren't sure, you potentially hate them. And if you did hate them, you really hate them.
No, I get that. I think that, maybe here's the thing. I don't think it was done purposely, like to be super malicious bully style. I think if there was like a reunion show like Survivors and the host was going to say something, I think that Gary and D'Angelo would be like, oh, we were just playing around. I'm sorry if it offended. It looked bad on TV. I don't think they would be like blatant jerks about it. Yeah, but I do think it looked kind of bad.
And this was coming off of a pretty strong verbal attack on D'Angelo.
Right.
So I think emotions were running a little high, and so as I said, I don't think it was malicious, but it was just like, hey, you said some shit, I can say some shit too. And think about it. Athletes are traditionally shit talkers. I mean, like that's.
Right. But I think it is important that, again, the shit talking already started not from them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it made them look that bad.
Yeah. But as I said, I think if you were looking for a reason not to like them, you're gonna jump on board on that. You're just like, they're the worst. And I was just like, part of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So time to make some tiles and a slide puzzle. And D'Angelo chooses to not really watch.
I don't get this.
I had a hard time with that, and I love D'Angelo.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, you should always just take the time in the beginning and watch it through the entire way. But you don't do that. You try it once, you try it twice. Clearly, you're doing something wrong. That should be your clue that maybe you want to go back and watch the whole thing. And I don't know how many times he had to fail before he finally.
12. 12 is the answer in over 2 hours.
Right.
So I don't get that.
But I'm curious how, I'm just imagining at this time, production is just being hardcore watchdogs because we learned through Gary's conversation, you're not allowed to tell someone what they're doing wrong. However, you are allowed to provide encouragement. And that's a fine line that I could imagine people tiptoeing on, and
they're pretty careful with it though. It has come up, on previous races, and people have been penalized for not doing much. I mean, they are extremely careful with that.
Okay, so there is a penalty if they had fucked up, because I could imagine, like myself, looking to bend rules as much as possible. Like accidentally, it's just like, oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, they're not buying it.
Yeah,
really. You can say like, hey, good job, keep going. But anything beyond that, and you are in danger of getting a penalty.
So traditionally, what kind of penalty would have been assessed if I'm Gary and I say, watch the motherfucker at the beginning?
I'm trying to remember how long it was. But I mean, it's not 5 minutes. I don't remember whether it's, 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, but it's a significant penalty.
Okay. Because I'm thinking because Gary realizes this early. I mean, I roll. Oh,
you mean just break the rule and then get through the task?
Take the penalty. Yeah.
Well, that's more
as long as you do it before they get, it's going to take them time to do the garden thing, especially based on how long it took the boyfriends and Hung and Chi to get there after those two. I think I roll the dice and I take the penalty.
Yes.
But at the same time, you would expect D'Angelo to fucking watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, the argument against that is it's not like you're just looking at this and it's just a task for whatever reason you can't do. The only reason they're having such a problem with is that D'Angelo didn't watch the demonstration. Yeah. So if I were Gary, I wouldn't be thinking, do I, court disaster here and, quote unquote, make oops and, give him a clue? or are you just thinking, just go watch? Like, I don't think it's worth the risk in that case, because Gary could have solved this problem at any point, and he finally did, just after he wasted 2 hours. Although really though, but Johnny, what you're saying makes sense, because in any other scenario, right, this would have been the end of that race. And so if this is going to be the end of your race, then yeah, why not throw everything at the wall and see what sticks? Maybe it'll work.
Yeah. I mean, it
was frustrating. You're like yelling at the TV, like
you're at the mercy of how long the penalty is. Like if the penalty's 30 minutes.
I was going to say, but have you seen when Boston Rob and Amber did the race?
Yeah.
Because Rob was famous for this idea, not exactly the same thing, but something you can just choose to not complete a task, and it's normally, I think it's a 4-hour penalty.
Yeah.
So Rob figured out that if you can, so if you're the only one who takes the penalty, obviously you're screwed. But if you can convince other people that this task is undoable and get other people to also take the penalty. So he did play with that. And I don't think anybody had ever done that before, and it was a good idea. But I haven't seen anybody deliberately, right?
Because they always had the advantage when it came to transportation,
right?
Because their recognizability factor,
right? But I'm saying in terms of specifically with a roadblock, and kind of like you said, taking the risk of getting that penalty. Yeah. I'm not aware that anybody's ever done it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but it does make a big difference in terms of how long the penalty is. And I don't know that Gary could really go up to a producer at that point and say, just out of curiosity, if it just happened that, I made a mistake and told D'Angelo to go back and watch the fucking guy, what's the penalty on that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just watch the guy in general? I don't get that, especially after you don't get it 10 times. There's got to be something this guy is doing to make
that you're not
sticking part. Like, first of all, I think this is fascinating. Like this whole warehouse, a factory of old looking spinneroony tools and
heat though. How amazing is that? It's just done by pressure.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's
like I would imagine tiles were made by heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like in a kiln or whatever, and they bake the stuff on and all that stuff.
Paint it and then you bake it. That's what I would have assumed.
Yeah. Shows how much we know. It makes me want to get like some sweet tiles. But I did like how it ended with a slide type puzzle. I thought that was pretty cool. It didn't seem too difficult compared to like maybe like a survivor puzzle, but it was cool.
I'm a slide puzzle champion. Like when I was a little kid, like that was my jam.
Really?
Yeah, I was good at those too.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's been years. I mean, like I might be horrific now, but I think that
when you're little,
like I played one of those. I had game night on Saturday, and I did the the Hunted Killer games. Like it was Murder at the Dive Bar, or Death at the Dive Bar, and so you get all these clues. It's like like there's surveillance footage, surveillance picture, and then there's like these envelopes that happen to have a code there, and there's all these things, and like I just had to get my mind into it's just like, okay, I'm looking for the not obvious, and just programming your mind to think outside the box, and amazingly finish the game in about 2 hours, which I thought was pretty good. Like, looking at the reviews, there's many people that took 3+ hours to do this same deal. So, but just the focus, but the slide puzzle part, it is what it is. But just going back, it's just like, God, take the fucking time, D'Angelo, and fucking watch. Just watch one time, just from start to like even I would do it before I started, but even if I was stubborn enough to try, like 2 or 3 times, right? Just watch that motherfucker from second 1 to second 8,006.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
only thing I can think of, and it's not really a defense, but I do think that once you're in this situation where you have failed, multiple times at a task, I think you can just get in your own head.
Yeah.
And get to the point that you're right, but you can't even realize like, hey, I need to take a deep breath and take a step back and figure out what's wrong. People just like they try to go hard, do harder and go faster, and that is not what you need to do in that kind of situation.
Right. But it's just crazy the whole time I'm watching it. I'm like, please, dude, like you're yelling at your TV. Just go ask the dude. He's there to show you how this thing is done.
And the Beards and Will do. I mean, like they try a couple times. They're just like, something ain't right. And so they're just like, hey, let's just take 4,000 seconds to watch this guy do it from point A to point Z.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming that it's not a 2-minute demonstration. It might be a 20-minute demonstration, but at a certain point, when you are in double digits in terms of the number of times, and not just you fail, but you keep failing on the exact same problem.
Yeah. So, I think that the issue was he couldn't separate it. And so I think he did go back and watch a couple times the separation part, and he was just like, oh, well, his just separates.
Because there was a step earlier in the process that you needed to. Right.
Yeah. So I think that was the issue. He was just like, okay, I'm doing exactly what he does to separate. It was like, yeah, you are. But if you don't grease the pan, then you're going to have your fucking cinnamon rolls fucking stick. Shit's just going to suck.
Right. I hear you.
So the Beards are first. They win of course, courtesy of Travelocity, 5 nights in Norway with a Viking dinner to end the 5 days. How fucking appropriate is it for the Beards to get like? I think it would have been a travesty of justice for anyone else to have won this.
Why? Because they wouldn't have fully appreciated the Viking dinner.
Yeah. Sorry, I said it would have been a travesty of justice for anyone else to win this, but the Beards for the Viking dinner.
It's
they would have fit in.
And if you're watching this, I'm actually there. This is from a Norwegian behind me. Norway is well known for long beards. Hans Langseth, who's on my back, was from Norway. So yes, I'm telling you, the beards is the key to this whole thing, and they deserve to win.
Yeah,
especially this trip.
All right, so we discover D'Angelo's there for over 2 hours. His 12th attempt, he finally watches, and then D'Angelo and Gary can't find their tuk-tuk. He has moved to a further location because they had been there for 2+ hours, and I think this led, post finding the tuk-tuk, we have monks doing construction, which I was mind-blowing. I think this led to the most exciting finish of the season.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, the tree. That's another thing that I would be so bummed about is just random circumstances like that. They have no control over it, and things like that. It definitely, as a viewer, I was like, man, are they going to get there in time, or are they going to get beat by the other team that they had U-turned or whatever?
All right. Well,
and I'm guessing, right? They kind of set this up. I was expecting a foot race, and it was not a foot race. It'll be interesting to find out later just how far apart they were. But I have a feeling it was more than a few minutes.
I still think it's I think as far as our finishes thus far, I think it's as close as we've gotten.
Okay.
So because you had D'Angelo finishing, and as he's finishing his slide puzzle, the brother and sister, they've done their tile. I mean, they're walking over to do the slide puzzle, and I can't imagine it took him 45 minutes to do the fucking slide puzzle.
Fair enough.
So maybe, but I would like.
I'm saying my point is, I think it was more than 5 minutes. I'm not saying it was more than 45 minutes, but it was not. I was hoping for a foot race, and we did not get anything.
No, we did not. Who do you think would have won that foot race? I think the NFL guys take that.
I would hope so. I mean, they're
Well,
pro
I know-
athletes.
I know D'Angelo does, but what about offensive lineman Gary?
Offensive lineman Gary is is a much more multifaceted guy than I thought at the beginning of the race. So
He is.
Yeah.
He
So,
he
wouldn't be
surprises us
surprised.
each
Yeah.
week.
Mhm.
He knew to grease the fucking pan.
And also just to watch the demo.
Yeah.
It's like read the instructions.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, next week is our grand finale. I'm guessing this.
Nope. 2 more episodes.
2 more.
Mhm.
Oh, this shit never ends.
Yeah, I know. We thought it was ending last week. No. So at some point in the middle of the leg, what Phil was talking about, like it's the last feature, whatever. I wasn't sure at that point, but at the end of the episode, Phil said something. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that it is 2 additional.
Oh, so next week
because normally the finale is 3 teams. Sometimes
Okay.
they have started with 4, but usually it's 3.
Okay, so next week is the penultimate episode, which is
Yes.
my favorite word when describing an episode, the penultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have a friend, Wade Keller, who does a podcast. Check him out at PW Torch. He hates the word penultimate because so many people think that means the ultimate, and it does not.
Right.
It is the next to last is what that means. So, for those of you like, oh, penultimate, that sounds good. So no,
Yeah,
it
no,
means
there's the
next
ultimate and then there's the almost ultimate.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people use the word incorrectly and
Right.
think penultimate means
Really ultimate.
really ultimate, and it like when a sportscaster goes, he was literally flying. It was like, no, he wasn't. He was. He 1000% was not
Flying.
literally flying. He was the opposite of really flying. Yeah. All right. Well, I thought this is a good episode. As I said, the closest finish we've seen yet. There was strategy involved. Cool challenges. Cambodia rules, and all right. Until next week, I'm happy. What were you guys' closing thoughts?
Yeah.
I liked
Still fan.
it and wins a race.
What's that?
I said, I love the episode and I can't wait to see who wins the race.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So with that, let's check out another commercial. Winter's here and it's crazy cold outside. But what you don't know is you should still drink more water. By the time you feel thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. You can't focus and you feel tired.
Drinking enough water is critical for a healthy lifestyle that you're trying to maintain. It increases your brain power, boosts your productivity. It can prevent headaches and it'll increase your focus. Not only that, it improves your skin and mood, and it can help with your digestion and give you energy. Wow, it also prevents bad breath and can help you lose weight. But how much water should you drink each day? 10 cups? A gallon? The good news is that it doesn't have to be so complicated. That's why I start my day with Hydrant, because Hydrant helps you hydrate faster.
Hydrant has created a refreshing electrolyte powder that you mix directly into water to more efficiently and effectively hydrate your body. It hydrates you quickly and keeps you going for longer. Each rapid hydration mix has the 4 essential electrolytes that your body needs: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc, and it packs a punch to help your body hydrate fast and stay hydrated. If you're looking for that extra boost of energy, there's also Hydrant Plus Caffeine, which contains 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea. Hydrant is backed by research. The formula was developed by an Oxford scientist. It also is loved by pro athletes, top performers, celebrities, and has thousands of 5-star reviews.
It's made with real fruit juice powder. It's delicious and refreshing, and it comes in a variety of flavors, including iced tea, lemonade, and fruit punch. My favorite personally is the grapefruit. It's a classic and I go back to it. It's delicious. Plus, this stuff is backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love it, you can send it back for a full refund. You really need to try it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. It tastes incredible and it works.
Well, Hydrant starts at just $1 a packet for a 30-day supply, and you save even more with a monthly subscription. And it's so easy to get. We've got a special deal for our listeners to save 25% off your first order. We're not kidding here, folks. 25%. Go to drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. That's DRINKHY drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter promo code survivor for 25% off your first order. That's drinkhydrant.com/survivor. Enter promo code survivor to save 25%. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon, and I'm so glad it is because growing up, cereal was one of the best parts of being a kid, but I had to give it up because I'm now in my 30s and I was realizing that it's full of sugar, junk, and all this stuff you really shouldn't eat. So I've been trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, all this unhealthy food, and I realized I basically can't eat anything anymore except Magic Spoon.
For me, we're into the winter months and nothing's changed for me. I mean, I have 5Ks coming up, 10Ks coming up, half marathons coming up. I still treat my body as great as I personally can on a physical level, but a part of that is eating right. You know, I'm not doing the big hearty breakfast that I used to do in the past. I'm not doing the unhealthy breakfast that I've been doing in the past. I am doing a breakfast that helps me get through the day, not add those extra carbs, and make me feel like the healthiest Johnny Fairplay I've ever been in my entire life. Sign me up for Survivor right now.
This stuff has 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. There's 4 flavors that are their staples. You can get cocoa, fruity, frosted, blueberry. It tastes amazing. Honestly, it's too good to be true. Johnny, what are your favorite flavors?
Well, right now I am all in on the apple cinnamon. Remember that apple cereal you had as a kid and you loved? It is here through Magic Spoon, but so much better, and I freaking love it. You cannot stop me from eating this. I mean, you have the fruity, the peanut butter, the cocoa, the cinnamon, the apple cinnamon. Oh man, number one, blueberry frosted. So many to choose from. I am digging this.
All these cereals are keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. Johnny, where should they go to pick some up?
Of course, you go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/survivor. Use the code SURVIVOR for free shipping. And we thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the podcast.
Brace yourself.
Let's talk about something we could all use more of right now. Sex. Great sex. Now, look, I love sex, Zach. I don't know about you. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. And I don't like a little bit of sex. I like a whole lot of sex. And so, guys, now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue.
Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Now, you can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
Not only that, Blue Chew's made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. No awkwardness, and you don't even have to leave the house.
Now, if you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Guys, this isn't me reading ad copy here. This is Johnny Fairplay when he knows action is about to go down. I grab the Blue Chew, I peel it open, chew it up, and I go, get ready, we're going to Pound Town. Someone is going over. Someone is winning a championship tonight. That's right. And that could be you, because right now we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code SURVIVOR. Just pay the $5 shipping. Again, that's BlueChew.com, BlueChew.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help this podcast be possible. So please use our promo code SURVIVOR at BlueChew.com. See you next week.